Hello, I'm Sue. Welcome to Fireside Chat. Wanted to welcome you to the show because I have a special friend. Her name is Gwen West Gonzalez. Thank you so much, Dr. Gwen. Welcome to Fireside Chat.
Thank you for having me, Sue. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm so happy. Yes, your sister Tina is an absolute pleasure to work with, and I just so glad that she told you, "Hey, Sue has a show, right?"
Yeah. Yes, yes.
And then she was like, "I'm gonna get you guys on the phone together." And then it was like, "Oh yeah, like you're gonna be
Great
fine, right? Like
connection.
yeah, and you've done this before. So
Immediately.
did you used to be on TV or radio before?"
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness, Sue. I would probably have to say over 30 years
My
now.
God.
Yes, yes. So I've done both television, I've done both radio, hosting as well for others as well as my
Ah,
own, and now doing some podcasting. That's the big thing now. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
and it's fun. As we had shared earlier, it is. This is fun.
It is
To be
fun.
able to just share different topics with others,
Hmm.
and then it frees you as well, right? We were
Yeah,
talking about that, yeah.
and you have a platform,
Yes,
right? Which is
yes,
it's
yes,
that's worth something. You
yes.
know what
It
I mean?
is, it is, it
What's your
is.
topics
Yeah.
usually? Do you have a kind of a general?
Well, my topics is and my show that I have, my podcast is Let's Talk. And just like with yours, it gives you the opportunity to open up a platform for anything. So I have people come in
Awesome.
of all different types of backgrounds. We talk about finances, we talk about generational wealth, we talk about investing in stocks, and we talk about family, we talk about marriage and being single. We talk about being entrepreneurs. We talk about
God.
women empowerment, all types of things.
There's so much, and those are really
Yeah,
important, timely, relevant topics
exactly,
because that's what
exactly.
those are our daily kind of things that we have to deal with. It's like, how come I don't feel power in my job or in my situation? And
Yes,
it's kind of hard being single sometimes. Like a lot of those things are very timely because I
yes.
feel like, especially us, like we can't just meet someone and ask them to marry us. Like we have to kind of wait and hope
Uh-huh.
that they that they might, and it's because we
Going through
don't
the
have that.
process.
Yeah, like we don't have that. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the
Uh-huh.
the power in that situation.
Uh,
And I'm sure like some women, are totally fine with, yeah, I'll ask out whoever I want and I
yeah.
have no problem, proposing or whatever. But like for the rest of us, it's kind of like you have to kind of hope that, that you're not going to be alone all your life. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes. When I was coming up, they would say that you're not the one that's supposed to do the proposing, or you're not supposed to be the one to do the chasing,
Me too.
and that you're supposed to sit back and let them chase you
Exactly.
because that makes you more, not desperate. I'll say it that
Yeah,
way,
that's a
right? And
good
that you are
that's a good
worthy
thing.
of it, right? And we
Right.
are. We
Right.
are
We
worthy
are.
of the chase, right? But then you also think about, okay, when is it going to happen? If
Right.
I sit back and wait and not take the initiative, because maybe men nowadays they're like, okay, they have the fear of rejection,
Yeah.
right? And so they don't want to make that step whenever they see, because then they say, oh, she's too pretty for me, so I know I'm going to get rejected. When you're also eyeing them from across the room, right, and saying,
Yes.
would he make this move already, right? And
Exactly.
so what do? You kind of give each other the eye,
Yeah, that's
right?
right.
The certain look.
Yes.
And then that gives them the permission.
That's nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Because now you
That
opened
makes
up
sense.
and you've given him a sense of confidence to say, come on over and speak to me. Yeah, ask me to dance. And yes, I'm going to say yes. And so now he
Right.
just go ahead and scursy over and says, let's dance.
And then
But
you're
then you
like,
also, but
oh,
then
thank God.
after that, you
Mhm.
also have to kind of say, okay, I did give him that little nudge,
Mhm.
so that
Yeah.
he has the confidence to come over and, invite me for a dance or what have you, out to dinner now. But you still kind of have to kind of sit back
Yeah.
and let him chase you,
Right.
because
I
you don't
agree.
want to make it too easy for him,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. I think we're both raised by the same mom because it's so true, right? Like it's kind of like you're a kind of a like a prize or a queen or something.
Yes,
Like you are of
yes,
value.
yes,
And,
yes, yes,
for you to allow someone into your life, we do have standards, right?
yes.
And we don't want no scrubs. That just came to to my mind. That's hilarious. I'm so sorry.
Well, absolutely. You have to have standards. I mean, because just like you set goals, right? You have to have certain standards, but don't let those standards be too high.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that men fear, especially when they see a gorgeous woman like yourself, and they go, okay, I know she has standards, right? So how are those standards? Are those standards too high? Does he have to be rich, tall,
Yeah.
dark,
Right,
handsome,
right.
all of these have this car that is a Lamborghini or what have you, right? Working at this certain job. Come on, yes, have standards of he has to be a gentleman.
Yeah.
He has to open the door for me,
Yeah.
right? He has
Absolutely.
to, treat me as a queen.
Yeah.
But then it's okay if he is still growing in his job, right? If
Exactly.
he's still at entry level, but he's growing, and
Yes.
he has goals. He has
True.
aspirations,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
And he has a plan to getting there. And
Right.
now I can work with you. But if he
Exactly.
doesn't have a plan in place at the age of 50 and he's still at entry level,
Yeah, maybe not, but it's nice that we can choose, we can actually
yes.
encourage and that kind of thing. But I
yes.
like the way that you think because yeah, and you know what? And talking about women's empowerment, like
Yes.
it's in a lot of areas in our lives, we do have power, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When God made us, he didn't make us from the dust of the ground like he did with Adam, right? He took us out of Adam's rib, not, and even though the rib is in the side, it wasn't where we were supposed to be next to them. We still are to be their helpmeet, walking together side by side, but not letting them dominate us, right?
No,
But
no.
he had said to us that we are his prize queen. We are his prized daughters. And so we weren't made from dirt. So therefore, we're not supposed to be stepped on,
My
trampled
goodness.
over, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be sparkled, taken care of, or of like royalty.
Right.
And we are supposed to look at ourselves that way. Because if we look at ourselves as we are queens and that we are worthy of being cherished, and then others will also treat us that way,
That's true.
right?
Yeah, it's kind of you're giving them permission to be a man because
Yes.
it's just if we are very much in our feminine, then then they want to take care of us. Like they
Yes.
want to,
Yes.
I don't know,
Yes.
impress us and shoot for something. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. Like it's great to have an idea of what you'd like in your life, but it's kind of like. We are allowed to dream a little, right?
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
do you think what do you think about like online dating and things like that? Like,
Oh,
what do you think? Like,
I don't see anything wrong with online dating. Be careful. Ask questions. Have them reveal that photo because sometimes they'll put up a photo that's not really them, right?
yes,
And then also, too, it may be an older photo,
yeah,
which is
that's true.
okay as well. But you want them to be, transparent with you and being, real with you.
Right.
So online dating, it gives you the opportunity to get to know them from afar without, and then asking the questions and building upon without you having a physical encounter immediately. So, for example, if you're meeting someone in a club,
Yeah.
okay? You see the physical attraction right away, which is nothing wrong with that because you should have a physical attraction.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Online, you are working with their intellect. Right?
Interesting.
Okay, because you
Yeah.
can't, all you're going by is a picture. Now, he can zoom out the photo or she can zoom out the photo and says, look at me.
Right.
But do you really want that? Do you want them to judge you or have a immediate, rise off of just your physical? Or do you want them to know you on the inside, the real you?
Right.
Because we are not our age. We are not our color. We are not
True.
our physique. We're not our hair. We're not our eyes, right? We are the intellect that is within us. And that's how we want people to connect with us from the inside of us, not
inside.
out from the outside of us.
Right.
And
That
yes,
makes sense.
as humans, we look at people from the outside and we immediately judge on the outside based on, oh, she's so pretty or he's so handsome or she's so healthy because they work out or what have you. But who is that person? Again, they're not their physique, right?
No.
So who is that person? Let's get to know you from the inside. And so we can do that online dating by having that conversation, as opposed to if I have you here in the physical in the club and you're sitting next to me, all I'm thinking about is that, oh, he's so fine. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, she has a beautiful smile. You're not even listening to her talk.
No,
You're not
it's
even listening
true.
to him talk.
That's true.
You're so looking at, oh, her hair is so pretty. Oh, his hair is he has good hair.
Right? It's important, though, especially in the rain. If to have good hair in the rain is a miracle, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my God.
Exactly.
Like, so funny. But, yeah, it's amazing, like, how we kind of formulate, come up with. And also there's an energy factor, right?
Yes.
Dr. Tina, because, Dr. Gwen, because there's someone's energy. It can tell you a lot, the way that you feel with someone's
the
energy.
connection, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because we are made of energy, right? And that others are attracted. We attract others by our energy. It's just like when someone walks in the door. If they bring an energy of negativity, of darkness, or they bring an energy of light, of sunshine, of laughter, of smile. And so, yes, in the physical, when you meet someone in the club, for example, we can go back to that, is that you can connect to the energy as opposed to online. You have to kind of sense or have the, what I like to call, is a discernment.
Yeah, that's a
okay.
good
You
word.
have to discern
Right.
based on how they talk to you.
Right.
Okay. And then and that's how you can
Like
say,
that word.
okay, can I feed off that energy based on how they respond to my questions?
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to when the person you have that physical energy that's that is illuminating, right?
That's a good word.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is very important. It is very important. Energy is very important to be able to know, am I attracting the right energy in this
That's
person?
for sure. I think it's to stay discerning for a while as you get to
Yes.
know each other. I was watching this coach. His name is Jay Shetty.
Yes.
And he said that there's a quote that he really likes. And it goes, I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am.
Yes.
I am who I think
yes,
you think I am.
Yeah.
Isn't that
I love
crazy?
it. I love that quote. And I think that if I'm not mistaken, Oprah Winfrey came up with that quote.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, I could be.
Sure.
So don't even quote me.
That's a cool. Isn't that a cool thought, though? It's
But
such a
yes, I
cool
am very
thought.
familiar with the quote, and that is so true. I am not who you think I am. I'm not who the other person think that I am. I am who I think you want me to think I am,
Right.
or I am who I think I am. Because even though it is important that, we get affirmations from others, the most important affirmation is who we affirm to ourselves, what
Sure.
we're saying about ourselves.
Yeah. So
That
important.
is most important, is how you perceive yourself and what you're speaking over yourself. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. And so, yes, we grew up as sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt. Oh, yes, they does.
Yeah, it does.
Words hurt. Words are the most powerful language in the universe, and it is designed to build up or tear down.
Wow.
And yes, other people's speaking into your life, negativity or positivity, does make a difference. But you speaking out of your own mouth,
Right.
building yourself up, is more important than the other person.
Okay.
Right. So that quote, I love that quote, and I have that, on my vision board. That is important to what I think about myself.
Yeah, we do relate to each other because I couldn't have known that. I could not have known that, right? You were probably like, oh my gosh, she's going to say it. I can't believe it.
I know.
But yeah, so tell me a little bit about like how we can think about women's empowerment. Like I really like
yes,
that you're kind of
yes.
like, the way that you think of yourself, the way that you
Image.
show up in the world. Yeah.
Image.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
To be aware of how other people are reacting to you, perhaps.
Yes.
And sometimes we can do something about it. Like if we're
Yes.
kind of like we start off really shy and we're afraid to go in the room and talk to people, you can, right?
Yes.
You can use repetition or just sort of
Yeah.
build those muscles a little bit
Yes.
to come out of yourself Because
Yes.
I feel like if you focus on someone else, then you're not in your own head.
Exactly. Comparison. We look at others,
Yeah.
as women, and we compare ourselves with, I'm not pretty enough like she is.
Yeah.
My hair is not, long enough or whatever,
Yeah.
styled enough
Yeah.
like hers, or I'm not light enough.
That's really a
All
big
of
one,
that,
isn't
all
it?
of that.
That's a big
Or I
one.
don't have, a nice shape. My breast is too big. My butt is too small,
Right.
or what have you, compared to someone else. And we really have to love ourselves and accept ourselves, embrace ourselves with who God has given us.
Right.
Because, again, when we are downplaying ourselves, we're smacking God in the face
Wow.
because He created us specifically,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
And so when
Interesting.
we say, I'm not this, I'm not that, we're smacking God in the face of saying that, you created me, to be something that I'm not. But He says, I created you as my greatest masterpiece. You're my daughter. You
Oh,
are the twinkle in my eye.
yeah.
And what I've given you was for a purpose. And what I have to do
That's
is
true.
it's a mindset,
Right.
right? I have to reset my mind and embrace what God has given me
Right.
for a set purpose, right? And then, hey, who's to say that if I have indulged, okay, where I have the shape that I'm not happy with,
Uh-huh.
that's why they have the gym.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. We can do something about
We're
it.
in
You
control of
know?
our own lives,
Yeah, we
right?
are. We are.
Perhaps I need to push away from the table a little bit. Perhaps I do need to fast, right? And there's nothing wrong with that
No.
because even though, God gave us this body, right? We are in control of what we put in the body.
That's true.
He gave us dominion and control, power over this gifted body to take care of this vessel. And if we're not taking care of the temple, the vessel that He's given us, then then it's really our own fault,
Yeah.
really. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have the control to push back from the plate,
Yeah.
right? Because again, for health reasons, or even if it's just to beautify yourself, right?
Right.
It's all in your hands. You
Yes.
have the control. But never compare yourself with someone else because you do not know what that person's going through.
That's true.
You do not you may see the outside of that individual, but
Right.
you do not know their struggles.
Yeah.
Because
No.
as women, we have the same struggles. We deal with menopause or hormonal changes, right? And now we have to seek our physician so that we can have a consultation to go, okay, my hormones are this. Well, let's take a test. You have
Right.
hormonal imbalance with thyroid or what have you.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Yep.
And let's do this.
Thyroid.
Now, your diet is this.
Yes.
Because my diet is different than your diet
Right.
based on my hormonal changes or the way that my body is made up.
Right. Yeah, because even our stomachs can process food differently. Like some
Differently.
people have like a real
Exactly.
struggle and they have to have this and not this.
Yes.
But I think it's great to be, in a sense, grateful for
Yes.
who we are and what we have, right?
Always.
That's really important.
Number one, what I have learned, and then we were talking about our ages earlier.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
made that, that milestone. And, it was a turning point in my life
Mm-hmm.
when I realized that I had to be more grateful. So I started waking up every morning, first
Yes.
thing, and being grateful.
That's a beautiful way to start
Grateful
the
for
day.
my health,
Mm-hmm.
grateful even for your eyesight, grateful to be even have a voice, grateful for your arms, your legs, or what have you, or just in the situation that you're currently in. Because you know what? When we do not demonstrate gratefulness, we're telling the universe, we're telling God of the universe that, okay, I'm content with what I have right now, and so I've accepted, as opposed to, saying, okay, I am grateful, and now the universe is, okay, I see that you are grateful for this, so I'm going to open up even more
Right.
because of you being grateful for the small things that you
Yes.
have currently.
Right.
And so now I can progress you because life is a progression.
It really is.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so we have to enjoy the journey, not the ultimate arrival or
Right.
destiny. It's the journey that we should enjoy. The reward is in the journey, not the ultimate
So true.
destination. And
Be-
so we should always be progressing and having a grateful
Definitely.
heart to open up for more
On the journey.
on the journey.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really interesting because we get to develop, way, all through our lives, we can learn new things and we can become, something maybe we thought about. I've always wanted to do this. Like,
Yes.
you have to give yourself permission at
Give,
some point to say,
yes.
all right, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Right. Is there anything that you
Exactly.
can think of that
Exactly.
you have been interested in lately that you kind of gave yourself permission or had time?
To go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I've
The
always
podcast, maybe
the
a little.
exactly the podcast. I'm a person that aspires to be a filmmaker, and
Very good.
so I have been seeking that for many years. Actually, writing scripts,
Oh my goodness.
and filming some of the scripts.
That's
And on
amazing.
my podcast, well, I have two different podcasts. I
Yeah,
have
you
podcasts
probably
like
have more
yours,
than one.
where I invite people and we just talk, right? Let's talk. And then my other podcast is storytelling podcast,
That's
where the
beautiful.
scripts that I've written, they are in thematic type scripts, and so I
Mm-hmm.
have actors come on and they do the voiceover, and then you can listen to it like back in the old days.
Yeah,
how
almost
they used to have the
like
movies on
fireside
podcasts.
chat,
Exactly.
like that. Just you listen to the radio.
And you're listening to the actual storyline,
Wow.
in a audio type format.
Exactly.
And so we have to use our visual. And so that's what I've always aspired to do. So I had to write goals because it says write the goals, make it plain before, or write vision. Vision is goals. Write the vision, write the goals, make it plain before your eyes so that you can run with it. And so that is something that we have to do when we want to empower ourselves, is that whatever you aspire to do, then write it down.
I love
But
that.
don't just write it down. Put it before your eyes, get a vision board, post it before your eyes, so that not only you but your team
Yeah.
can run with it.
That's
Okay,
true.
so that's like a business plan, right?
true.
Because business plans is for your team, so that it sets the goal that what you want to accomplish, right?
Right.
And so what we do here to empower ourselves so that we do attain the goals that we want to aspire to achieve, that we have to write it down,
Right.
and then we have to make those steps.
Right.
Right? Because again, faith is motion. It is not just talking about it, because a lot of times we just talk about what we want to do, but we don't make the move to do it.
Right.
Right? And so we have to make the move to do it.
Right. And embody what you are.
Embody what you want to accomplish.
I mean-
yeah.
Yeah, because you're becoming.
Yeah,
Right. Like
yeah.
that book of Michelle Obama,
Michelle Obama,
Becoming. I haven't read
Becoming,
it, but
yeah.
it's like such a powerful word because
Yes.
we're not really finished or done or it's over or we're
Right.
expired. Like, no, we're so much in the middle of our lives. Like,
Yes.
and so we get to still, what do we want the rest of our life to feel like, right?
Yes, yes.
And so it's kind of an interesting time, isn't it?
It is. It really is for us as women. I think, we are taking on leadership roles. We're becoming entrepreneurs.
Yes.
We're taking on the world by storm. We are becoming unstoppable. And we're becoming achievers. We're not now I'll say it like this.
Yeah.
We have a mindset of, I'm not going to wait.
love that.
I'm excelling, meaning that I'm putting on the, acceleration, and I'm excelling moving forward.
Right.
I'm not putting the brakes on. Nothing's going to stop me anymore.
Right.
I'm moving forward fast speed. And so this is a time for us as women to come together and collaborate,
Very
because you
true.
can't do it by yourself. You may can start out doing it,
Sure.
but you're going to reach a certain point where it's like, okay, now I need to collaborate with other women.
Right.
And we have to rise and bring each other up. We can't be downplaying
No.
We can't say, oh,
Doesn't
she's
help
doing it.
anyone.
It doesn't help,
It doesn't
does
help
it?
anyone.
We
No.
have to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Us women has to come together, and we have to hold each other's hand, celebrate each other,
Mm-hmm.
And wherever we have weaknesses, because we all have weaknesses,
Right. And
you
it's
know.
cool because, like, what your expertise is, it might be something that I just don't feel comfortable with or I haven't excelled at. So, but that's easy for you. So it's like we can give to each other from our heart. And like, what do you need, sister? Right? Kind of
Yes,
thing. And
yes.
then like, because it's true, like the salesperson might not be the same as the accountant, but like, right? But they're both blessed and good and living in
Yeah,
their
those
truth.
talents,
But they can
right.
help each other.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Because in business, you need an accountant. So if
Yes.
you're not good with math and you have to hire an accountant.
It's
Hey,
okay.
you know what? In business, I have to promote my business, right? So I'm not good in advertising, but I have to get someone that is good in
Right.
advertising and sales. I have to sell this product. I have to sell my brand. Fireside chat has to be sold. And so therefore, I may can give you a little jingle here on my radio. However, I have to have someone to actually do the footwork for me
Yeah.
or to actually
Me
go
too.
out there and spread the word on social media,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so we have to come together and collaborate and find out what is my weakness, identify it, and then find those that has the strengths and
In
build a
those things.
conglomerate,
Yeah.
right? We have to make an impact, and that's what God wants us to do anyway.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. We're
That's
here
the
to make
whole
an
reason, isn't it?
impact,
Yeah.
right, and leave a legacy.
Yeah, that's really what we want, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Gosh.
Because you know what, Sue? I do not want to leave this world just passing through, and no one knew my name or no one knew Gwen, West Gonzalez. I just passed through. I don't want that for myself.
I
And
don't
I know
see
a
that
lot of people.
for
I know
you.
you don't either.
No.
I want people to know that I came, I made an impact, I left a legacy,
Mm-hmm.
and now I can move on, and it's going to live from generation to generation. And that's what God wants for us.
Absolutely. It's like pass the torch. But
Yeah,
you know what? But
exactly.
while we have it, it's shining
It's
bright.
shining bright, exactly. And we're here to help others,
We really are.
yeah, to come up, and we grow together. We grow together, and that's what it's
And
all
it can
about.
be fun,
And it
right?
can be fun.
Hence
It's
the
supposed to be
podcast.
fun.
It's supposed
It's
to be
supposed to be
fun.
fun. Exactly.
I'm
If it's
so
not, we're not doing it right.
No, it's true, right? Because
Yeah.
we are given gifts for a reason. And,
Yes.
it's a really cool thing in our lives to begin to recognize, right? And then allow, right? Allow and
Yeah.
receive and be
Yes.
grateful.
Yes.
But what a pleasure. It's been the fastest half hour of my
Oh
life.
my God, that time is gone already. I had so much fun.
I'm
Sue.
so glad.
You have
You're
such a
so-
great podcast. I wish nothing but success for you.
Thank you, my darling. Oh, I'm
Yes.
so glad we met. Oh my goodness. I'm so grateful to know you.
Yeah,
And
same here.
I'm
Same
just
here.
blessing you in every imaginable, God bless you in every way,
Thank
you and your
you. Thank
family.
you.
And I
Same
really hope
here.
you have a lovely vacation next week and celebrate some lovely, powerful
Yeah,
ladies
same
in
here,
your
same
midst.
here. And you continue to enjoy your birthday. You're still
Thank you.
celebrating your birthday in the second week now. You're going to have some more, celebration. Hey,
You
do
know,
it. Yes,
if it
you
could just-
deserve it. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Celebrate you. You deserve
Thank you.
it.
No, truly,
Yes.
what a pleasure. So thank you for trusting that I was a nice girl and that I was, I really have a show. Because it's kind of like you have a show, right? So I have to convince people, no, this is real.
Yes.
And,
yes.
but wow, thank you for spending time and just shining a light on how we can be inside of
Yes.
our minds without
Yes.
putting anybody down, but most of all, without putting our own self down.
Yes. Yes.
So important, right?
Absolutely. It is. It really is that we constantly speak life into our lives. And also, too, if we are in toxic relationships or in toxic environments,
Right.
exit yourself out
Yeah.
because you are worthy and that you do not deserve to be in an environment that has toxicity. You are God's greatest masterpiece. You are worthy of happiness. You are worthy to be cherished. You are worthy to be uplifted. You are worthy to be celebrated.
I love that.
And that is what God wants for each and every creation, men and females.
Right.
But females,
Absolutely.
women,
But
we
man.
lose sight. We lose sight of our identity when we wrap ourselves up in men, right? We lose sight of
know?
our identity, and we must get that back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and stand strong and know that we can do it. Yes, we need our men. I'm not saying men. I'm not bashing men.
For
We
sure.
need you, but we have to understand that we can stand strong.
Yeah.
And that we can do it. We can do anything that we set our minds to do. We just do it. And that we can do it alone. We can do it alone.
And I believe you get shown the way.
Yes. Yes.
You know, like there's little markers on a trail. Like things just align, as we
Absolutely.
said earlier.
Exactly.
Like things align, and then the
Yes.
feeling of like everything is aligning.
Yes.
Maybe I should just relax and enjoy this.
Exactly. And relax and enjoy and trust, right?
And trust.
And trust.
And lift others up while you're
And while we're
climbing,
doing it,
right?
exactly. While
God
we're
bless you
climbing.
with all my
God bless
heart.
you as well.
Thank you. Thanks for spending time with me.
Absolutely.
And,
Thank you for having me, Sue.
Thank you.
I had a
I'm
great
so
time.
happy. Please tell Tina the happiest, most wonderful birthday in one night when you're with her this next week. Can you look up at the sky and show her the stars?
Yes.
Can you do that for me?
I will. Yes.
You know,
we'll do
maybe
that.
have one sunset and one little moment of seeing the stars. That's what I'm asking. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Because that's what I would want to give her.
Absolutely.
It's always nicer from a beach anyway. So like, not the same as like, Rochester, Michigan. Let's look up and look at the stars. Like, no, you know what? But a safe and lovely journey, and I hope that the ladies that are being honored as well just feel the immensity of what they've created.
Yes. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We'll do.
What a
Sue.
pleasure. Thank you. We'll talk soon, okay, hon?
Yes.
Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you've gotten a little bit of hope and a little bit of awareness about that you do have power, you do have choice, and you're loved. You're so loved. And so, you know what? Go a little easier on yourself, maybe. Talk to you next time. Thank you.
I know. Isn't it so much fun? I may have to consider this. I have a studio in my home that I'm doing in my home. But
Aren't you glad you came here?
I would love to see what I can,